Hi guys, so today we are going to be doing a really fun assignment on Western expansion in the United States. So I would like us to begin on my teacher website. So under the tabs here, you will see online screencast assignment, and there is a link to a Google Doc. So from here, opening this link here will take you to the doc, and what we have here is a bunch of questions and links to the assignment. So to begin, I would like you to make a copy. So under File, Make a Copy, and then I would like you to put your first and last name. I'm going to put my name, but you would put yours right before the title there. So just like that. Okay. And here you are. And you can exit out of the other one. So this assignment is in a couple different parts. I have an interactive map and along with some questions, and then the second part is going to be a benefits and drawbacks activity relating to the Louisiana Purchase. So to begin, we're going to click on this guy here, and this is going to take us to PBS. This is a westward expansion map from 1860 to 1890. I'm going to launch. And as you can see, we have a blank map here of the United States. Now I want you to take notice of what we see here. We have a timeline down below. We've got 1860, 70, 80, and 90, so a span of 40 years. And then to the right here, we have different features that we can create on this map. And so what I would like you to do is all of these need to be checked. So first we have major cities, railroad networks, improved agricultural land. Now for this one, it's totally up to you if you would like to see the states and territories on the map. All I really care about is that you get a sense of where things are, but if you need to see those states and it does help you, then go ahead and do that. Now for the very bottom, we have select a base map. So this one you can only choose one at a time, but for this specific assignment, I want you to do Native Tribes of the West. So boom, there we go. And I'm actually going to take off states and territories because it does get like a little crowded, as you can see with them, but go ahead and keep it on if you need it. So what we've got here is a bunch of settlements here to the east. And then to the west, you see Native American populations. So now going back, you can actually exit out of this guy. I don't like having too many tabs open. But if we go back to our Google Doc, I have questions for you to fill out. There's 4 of them, one for each time period that we see. So for the first one, what do you notice about railroad networks in their relation to existing cities in 1860? So if this helps you, you can go back to railroad networks and click it on and off to see it show up, and then go back down. And so these brown lines here are going to be railroad networks. So I want you to notice is where are they in relation to cities. Now we can see what cities are already established in the East Coast and starting to make their way west. We see New York City, Boston, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Cincinnati, right? And there's going to be little dots next to these cities to give you an idea of the population. So in this little key here, I've got yellow, blue, and red. So yellow is going to be 1 million, and then we've got the numbers going down as the dots go down. So we don't have any large cities quite yet like we have more modernly, but they are slowly developing here in 1860. So I just want you to notice where these railroad networks are and their relation to the city. So what do you think is the significance of having railroads connected to these big cities? So I have a second question in here. What is in these cities that needs to be railroad accessible? So if you're thinking 1860, what time period are we looking at here? What type of revolution is going on in the United States at this time? I could give you the answer. But just think about it. What's going on? What's big technological developments are going on in these cities where railroads need to be established to create a sense of interconnectedness? So just elaborate what you think based off of what we've been reading in class. Yeah, so number 2, we're going to go to 1870. So we're going to click here. And as you can see, many, many changes. If you want to have a little comparison moment. There we go. So I can see railroads are expanding west. So that's one of the biggest differences I noticed when I clicked to 1870. So I go here to 1870, I notice a railway going west. So I want you to make note of that, what factors led to this, and then obviously you can see this railway is cutting into all of these different native populations. So how does that affect them? What do you think? What needed to happen to make way so that they could build that there? Number 3, we're going to go to 1880. What's going on here? We see yellow dots for the first time. We see more green expanding into the Midwest and the West, and that is improved agricultural land. What is going on so that improved agricultural land needs to be there? What does improved agricultural land support? Just something to think about, in relation to a population. What's going on? So you're going to put your observations there for number 3. And then number 4, we have 1890, finally. What drastic changes have occurred in the last 40 years? So for this one, I want you to look back at 1860 and give me your observations. What do you see? What's going on? What's new? What's moving? What's expanding? And yeah, so that's going to be your first part of this assignment. Next, I've got this guy. This is going to take you to the archives website, which is very fun. And what this is benefits and drawbacks of the Louisiana Purchase. Now, I know the Louisiana Purchase dates a little bit earlier than our map, but it still is good to show perspectives of what's going on in westward expansion. So here, we've got primary sources. And we've got a type of scale activity here. So 6 primary sources, and I want you to click on them and read them. And remember, a primary source is going to be a document, journal entry, treaty, anything that dates back to the original time that it was created. So here we've got our first one, and the bottom here, this section, will tell you what it's from, author, that sort of thing. So we have the National Intelligencer, Washington, D.C. newspaper on the Louisiana Purchase. So just by reading the title, you can kind of guess, is this going to be a drawback or is it going to be a benefit? And then wherever you decide to put it, the scale will tip. I'm not giving you answers, but I'm just giving you an example. So second here, we've got Thomas Jefferson. Where do you think Thomas Jefferson would stand on the Louisiana Purchase? Well, you have your answer. And once you interpret that and you decide where you think this is going to go, put it on your scale. So on and so forth. And then you get primary sources in this activity from not just people like Thomas Jefferson. You've got natives as well. And then there's a map I want you to look at as well. Whoop. It's tipped. And then from here, once you finish this guy, I want you to screenshot this. So oftentimes it's like home page and then print screen. To screenshot it. I want to see that you've done it. And then down here, we've got an orange little link. We're going to click on that. And then we've got this little box here. So you're going to be answering this question or these questions using evidence from the primary sources you've just read. Which groups benefited from the Louisiana Purchase and how? Which groups had more drawbacks? What drawbacks could you conclude from the readings? So just interpreting what you have done through including the map activity and this as well. So what have you noticed about who's benefiting from this, who's not, and why? And then you're going to put your first name and your last name to my email address, which is on my teacher website. And then I want your response in no less than, I would say, 75 to 100 words. As long as you answer the questions, that's fine with me. And so once you email that, we are going to go back to our Google Doc. And then once you fill these questions out, I would like you to email this to me as well. So yeah. And once you do that, you have successfully completed this assignment. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. Thank you, guys.